Do not judge the iPhone 18 Pro Max by its design. Do not judge it by megapixels. And do not judge it by one benchmark number, because Apple may be building this phone around one idea that competitors will find extremely difficult to copy. It is not a folding screen. It is not a 200 megapixel camera. And it is not simply a faster processor. The answer is hidden inside several reported upgrades. Separately, they may not look revolutionary, but when we connect them, the entire story changes. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman says the iPhone 18 Pro generation could receive some of the biggest camera hardware upgrades in the history of the lineup. But even the camera is not the final secret. Stay until the end, because the final reveal explains why this phone may feel different from almost every rival, even if another phone beats it in individual specifications. Subscribe and turn on notifications. I explain Apple reports in simple English. No fake confirmations, no confusing technical words. And answer this in the comments: what would make you upgrade immediately? Camera, battery, or new design? Write only one answer. Apple has not officially announced the iPhone 18 Pro Max. Its specifications, price, and exact release date remain unconfirmed. The first clue is on the front. At first glance, the iPhone 18 Pro Max may look familiar. Current reports suggest Apple could retain the same general design and 6.9-inch screen size. So this may not be a complete redesign, but the front could look noticeably cleaner. Apple is reportedly working on a smaller dynamic island. Some Face ID hardware may move beneath the display, although reports disagree about exactly which components will be hidden. That means we should not expect a completely invisible front camera yet. A smaller cutout is the safer prediction. That may sound like a minor change, but think about how often you look at your screen. You see it while watching videos, while playing games, while reading, and every time you unlock your phone. Apple may not need to redesign the entire body. It only needs to reduce the part your eyes notice every day. Would a smaller dynamic island make the phone look new enough? Comment cleaner screen or not enough. But this is only the first clue. The second clue is something you cannot see. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to use Apple's A20 Pro processor. Current reporting points to a chip manufactured using a 2-nanometer process. This could improve performance and power efficiency, although Apple has not released any official benchmark figures. But speed may not be the main story. Recent iPhones are already fast. Most people do not need messages, YouTube, or social media to open slightly faster. The important benefits may happen in the background. The processor could analyze photographs more quickly. It could handle more artificial intelligence work directly on the phone. It could improve gaming. It could process high-resolution video more efficiently. And it could use less energy during ordinary tasks. That means the A20 Pro may improve the camera and battery at the same time. The processor is not important because of one benchmark score. It is important because almost every major feature depends on it. But this is still not the final secret. The third clue could end battery anxiety. Battery life may become one of the biggest reasons to choose the Pro Max. Reported regulatory filings list the iPhone 18 Pro Max at approximately 5,391 mAh in China and 5,567 mAh in the United States. The equivalent reported iPhone 17 Pro Max figures are 4,823 mAh and 5,088 mAh. That means the new model could gain almost 500 mAh in some markets. Battery capacity alone does not guarantee better endurance. A phone can have a huge battery and still waste power. But now combine three things: a larger battery, a more efficient processor, and a more efficient display. The result becomes much more interesting. The phone could last longer during navigation, video recording, gaming, mobile data use, and travel. That is the type of upgrade people actually feel. Not because the battery number looks impressive, because they stop searching for a charger before the day is over. There could be a disadvantage. A larger battery and more advanced camera hardware may add thickness or weight. Apple will need to prove that the extra endurance is worth carrying a heavier device. Which would you choose? More battery or lighter phone? Now we reach the camera. This is where the reports become serious. Mark Gurman says the iPhone 18 Pro could bring some of Apple's biggest camera hardware changes in years. Other reports point to two major upgrades: a variable aperture main camera and a wider aperture for the telephoto camera. A variable aperture physically changes the opening inside the camera lens. A wider opening allows more light to reach the sensor. That can help in dark environments. It may also create stronger natural separation between a person and the background. A smaller opening can keep more of the scene in focus. That can help when photographing groups, buildings, or landscapes. The current rumor specifically points to a variable aperture on the 48-megapixel main camera. However, because smartphone sensors are relatively small, we do not yet know how dramatic the real-world difference will be. And here is an important truth: variable aperture is not completely new to smartphones. Apple cannot become unique simply by adding a moving lens opening. The important question is what happens after light enters the camera. The sensor captures the scene. The A20 Pro analyzes motion, faces, shadows, and highlights. Apple's software combines several frames, and the final image appears almost instantly. The hardware begins the photograph. The processor and software finish it. That relationship is more important than the aperture alone. But we still have not reached the final reveal. Why the telephoto upgrade could matter more: large zoom numbers look impressive during presentations, but zoom cameras often struggle when light becomes weak. A wider telephoto aperture could collect more light. That may improve indoor portraits, evening photographs, concert videos, and zoom shots taken after sunset. The current iPhone 17 Pro Max already has three 40-megapixel rear cameras and up to 8x optical quality zoom, according to Apple. That gives the next model a strong foundation. Apple may not need to add another huge zoom number. It may focus on making the existing zoom more dependable in difficult conditions. That would be a more useful improvement. A camera should not work only when the sun is bright. It should work when an important moment happens at night. Which would you prefer? Better low light or more zoom? Write your answer below. The launch itself could change everything. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max are currently expected to arrive in September 2026. But the standard iPhone 18 may not launch until 2027. Reports say Apple could separate the release schedule, giving the Pro models the main fall launch while bringing the regular model later. That would create a completely different Apple event. The Pro models would receive most of the attention. Apple's rumored foldable iPhone could also appear beside them. The foldable would represent something experimental. The Pro Max would represent Apple's most advanced traditional phone, and the cheaper standard iPhone 18 might not be available. That could make the Pro Max appear more important than any previous generation. It could also pressure customers into choosing a more expensive phone. Apple has not confirmed this schedule, but ask yourself, would you wait until 2027 for the regular iPhone 18? Or would you buy the Pro Max in September? Comment wait or buy Pro Max. One problem with normal phone comparisons: most people compare phones using isolated numbers. Megapixels, battery capacity, charging speed, screen brightness, processor scores, and maximum zoom. Those numbers matter, but they do not explain the entire experience. A phone can win one category and still feel inconsistent. Its camera colors may change when switching lenses. Its processor may be fast but overheat during long recording sessions. Its battery may be huge but drain quickly on mobile data. Its AI may sound powerful but require an internet connection for every useful task. A flagship phone is not one component. It is a system. The camera needs the processor needs efficient memory, the screen needs intelligent power management, the battery needs an efficient modem, and every piece needs reliable software. Now the final answer is becoming visible. Here is what could make the iPhone 18 Pro Max feel different from almost every other phone. It is not the variable aperture. It is not the A20 Pro processor. It is not the larger battery, and it is not the smaller dynamic island. The real advantage could be total integration. Apple designs the processor, Apple controls iOS, Apple develops the camera processing system, Apple manages how the display uses power, and Apple connects the iPhone with the Mac, iPad, Apple Watch, AirPods, and Apple TV. One rival may offer faster charging, another may provide a larger camera sensor, another may include a bigger battery, another may offer longer zoom, but few companies control so many parts of the complete experience. That is the secret. The iPhone 18 Pro Max may not become special by inventing one feature the world has never seen. It may become special by making several advanced technologies behave like one machine. The variable aperture lens controls the light. The sensor captures the information. The A20 Pro processes it. The efficient screen and larger battery support longer use. The software organizes the result, and Apple's ecosystem moves that result to another device. You could record on the iPhone, edit on a Mac or iPad, listen through AirPods, control the process with an Apple Watch, and display the finished video through Apple TV. That complete chain is much harder to copy than a single camera specification. This is the reason Apple may not need to beat every competitor in every category. It only needs to make the complete experience feel smoother. What Apple must still prove: none of this guarantees victory. Apple must prove that variable aperture produces visibly better photographs. It must prove that the larger battery creates longer real-world endurance. It must show that a smaller dynamic island does not weaken Face ID. And it must prove that the A20 Pro provides useful improvements, not only better benchmark numbers. Independent reviews will matter. Camera comparisons will matter. Battery tests will matter. Heat tests will matter. And the final price may decide everything. Until Apple makes its official announcement, the iPhone 18 Pro Max remains a promising, reported product, not the confirmed best phone in the world. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected in September 2026. Mark Gurman says major camera hardware improvements are coming. Current reports point to a variable aperture main camera, a wider telephoto aperture, and a 20 Pro processor, a larger battery, and a smaller dynamic island. Can we honestly say no other phone in the world will be like it? Not yet. Other phones may beat it in individual categories, but the iPhone 18 Pro Max could answer by connecting its camera, processor, battery, software, and ecosystem more tightly than almost any rival. Its biggest feature may not be one new component. Its biggest feature may be that every component understands what the others are doing. Now give your final answer. Comment world's best if you believe Apple will deliver. Comment wait for tests if Apple must prove every claim. Comment Android wins if another flagship already offers a better complete package. Subscribe for the official release date, price, and camera tests. Like the video, share it with one person waiting for the iPhone 18 Pro Max. And remember, the secret is not one feature. The secret is what happens when every feature starts working together.